that distorted the limbs and racked the bodies of those fellow slaves in after life. Still, she does not attribute this cruelty, for cruelty it certainly is, to be so unmindful of the health and comfort of any being, leaving entirely out of sight his more important part, his everlasting interests. So much to any innate or constitutional cruelty of the master, as to that gigantic inconsistency, that inherited habit among slaveholders of expecting a willing and intelligent obedience from the slave because he is a man. At the same time, everything belonging to the soul-harrowing system does its best to crush the last vestige of a man within him, and when it is crushed, and often before, he is denied the comforts of life, on the plea that he knows neither the want nor the use of them, and because he is considered to be little more or little less than a beast. Her brothers and sisters. Isabella's father was very tall and straight when young, which gave him the name of Bomefree, Low Dutch for tree. At least, this is Sojourner's pronunciation of it, and by this name he usually went. The most familiar appellation of her mother was Bett. She was the mother of some 10 or 12 children, though Sojourner is far from knowing the exact number of her brothers and sisters, she being the youngest save one, and all older than herself, having been sold before her remembrance. She was privileged to behold 6 of them when she remained a slave. Of the 2 that immediately preceded her in age, a boy of 5 years and a girl of 3, who were sold when she was an infant, she heard much, and she wishes that all who could fain believe that slave parents have not a natural affection for their offspring could have listened as she did when Bomefree and Bett, their dark cellar lighted by a blazing pine knot, would sit for hours recalling and recounting every endearing as well as harrowing circumstance that taxed memory could supply from the histories of those dear departed ones of whom they had been robbed, and for whom their hearts still bled. Among the rest, they would relate how the little boy, on the last morning he was with them, arose with the birds, kindled a fire, calling for his to come, for all was now ready for her, little dreaming of the dreadful separation which was so near at hand, but of which his parents had an uncertain, but all the more cruel foreboding. There was snow on the ground at the time of which we are speaking, and a large old-fashioned sleigh was seen to drive up to the door of the late Colonel Ardenburg. This event was noticed with childish pleasure by the unsuspicious boy, but when he was taken and put into the sleigh, and saw his little sister actually shut and locked into the sleigh box, his eyes were at once opened to their intentions, and like a frightened deer, he sprang from the sleigh, and running into the house, concealed himself under a bed. But this availed him little. He was reconveyed to the sleigh and separated forever from those whom God had constituted his natural guardians and protectors, and who should have found him in return a stay and a staff to them in their declining years. But I make no comments on facts like these, knowing that the heart of every slave parent will make its own comments, involuntarily and correctly, as soon as each heart shall make the case its own. Those who are not parents will draw their conclusions from the promptings of humanity and philanthropy. These, enlightened by reason and revelation, are also unerring. Her religious instruction. Isabella and Peter, her youngest brother, remained with their parents, the legal property of Charles Ardenburg, till his decease, which took place when Isabella was near 9 years old. After this event, she was often surprised to find her mother in tears, and when, in her simplicity, she inquired, "Mau, what makes you cry?" she would answer, "Oh, my child, I am thinking of your brothers and sisters that have been sold away from me," and she would proceed to detail many circumstances respecting them. But Isabella longed